What's it mean to you to shine your light, to shine your heart light into your life and the world around you? And when do you need it to just be dark? That's what we're going to explore today with a beautiful story from Japan I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Welcome to Truths and Illusions on Tambra TV, and I'm Tambra Harck. I want to share today with you a story about Amaterasu. She was the queen sun. Actually, she was more than a queen. She is the goddess sun. Not just the goddess of the sun, she was the sun, and maybe still is. This story comes from Japan and is one that I think speaks to an experience I have witnessed for myself and for countless others in recent years. Amaterasu, as I said, was the sun. You might think of yourself as being that kind of bright light. She had a brother, the moon, who was a bit of a pest. You know, he plays with shadows and with hiding a lot. But really, he loved picking on his sister. And he would play jokes on her to the point where she would just get so fed up. And after one too many jokes played on her, she finally said, "Forget this. I don't have to put up with this. I'm going to go in a cave on the earth and hide." And that's just what she did. So imagine this, the sun, all that intensity of light and life and consciousness, goes into a cave and pulls a boulder in behind her. She's quite content in a way, hiding in her own timing, away from her brother, and no one can pester her here, and she's filled with her own light. However, if we span out from that view and we see the rest of the earth and the rest of the universe, we can see that her light is absent everywhere. So all the other little lesser gods, which are called kama, gathered together to say, what are we going to do? We need Amaterasu to shine her light, or everything, all of life will wither and die. We need her. I don't think she knows that we need her. What can we do? And they would send messengers to the outside of the cave, and they'd be outside the boulder and they'd plead with her, or they'd petition poems to her, or they'd send messengers to her. And yet, Amaterasu stayed inside that cave with that boulder tightly pulled against it. Until one of the kama, who was particularly playful and loved to dance and make music and create celebration for everyone around, said, "You know what, I think I have an idea." And they put all their thinking caps on and they came together, they built on her idea, and they just decided, we're going to have a most magnificent party outside the boulder in front of the cave. And the one with the big idea, she loved to dance and holler, and she was jumping all about, and people were laughing. All the kama, of course, were laughing and laughing and laughing and celebrating and dancing, and there was music. You know, this was a lot of commotion outside, and while it was dark out there, inside Amaterasu could hear everything out there in her lighted place. And she just couldn't stand the curiosity another moment. And she thought, you know, I want to see what's going on out there. What is all the hilarity and dancing and music? And she pressed open the boulder in just the littlest bit. But you know what it's like when you open a door into a dark room from a well-lighted space? Suddenly the dark space is filled with light. And that's just what happened. As Amaterasu pushed the boulder out of the way, and even just a sliver of her light came flashing out into the dark space around her. And just that moment, all the little kama reached into their pockets and into their little tufts and folds in their clothes and into their little hiding packages, and they picked up these small pieces of a giant mirror. They had taken a big mirror and given every single kama one small piece, and they turned their mirror toward her light. And Amaterasu saw her own brilliance in the reflection from the Kama. And in this was so taken aback by light and consciousness and love that she emerged from the cave and took her position once again to light all of life. One of the reasons I love sharing stories, especially ancient myths and ones that involve the elements of the world, the natural world around us, is that we can say our own lives somehow reflected in bits and pieces of a story like a dream. So I wonder, where are you recognizing yourself at this time, or maybe at a past time in your life? Have you been Amaterasu, shining brilliantly? Have you been somehow hurt or wounded or frustrated or angry or shamed and just said enough and closed yourself away, which is also a way to say closed off your heart, closed off your ears, closed off your eyes, so that you would not let anyone else in? And where have you been the one to say, you know what? I know exactly what we could do right now, and gathered the community, the tribe, the collaborators together to bring their hearts and voices and dancing bodies into the creation of something new. I'd love to hear from you what experiences this story of Amaterasu and her shining light and its shadow, and how they are reflected to you in your life. You can comment here, whether you're seeing this on my site or on YouTube or Facebook, wherever it is, and we can enjoy or at least join in a conscious conversation about not just this story, but your light and the world around you. And let me just make a few requests of you. The first is, if you're on YouTube, would you subscribe here to our channel? It really does make a huge difference in helping us reach people around the world with not just truths and illusions, but with consciousness and connections, which is my bigger mission, and I hope you'll join me in it. Also, if you feel yourself in a resonance with some of the richness of what we're presenting here on Tambra TV, please make sure to come over to tambraharck.com and sign up for our community there. I look forward to creating an ever-expanding community of world-changing, love-beaming Amaterasus and Kamas all around the planet. Until next time, my friend, be well.